On the warm summer evening of July 2nd, 1991, more than 15,000 fans packed the Riverport Amphitheater in Maryland Heights, just outside St. Louis, Missouri. They had come for one reason: to see Guns N' Roses, the most dangerous band in the world at the peak of their fame. The group had built its reputation on unpredictability, chaos, and Axl Rose's volatile personality. But that night, the line between rock and roll rebellion and real violence blurred in ways no one could have anticipated. The show began with the intensity that made Guns N' Roses legendary. Slash's guitar cut through the humid air, Duff McKagan's bass thumped like a heartbeat, and Axl Rose prowled the stage like a predator in leather and snakeskin. For the fans, it was a dream unfolding under the summer sky. But beneath the music, tension simmered. The band was notorious for late starts, fights, and on-stage meltdowns. That reputation wasn't just myth, it was a fuse waiting to be lit. Midway through the set, as the band launched into Rocket Queen, Axl's sharp eyes caught something in the crowd. A fan near the front was taking photographs with a small camera, despite a strict no-photo policy enforced at the venue. Rose, known for his thin patience and explosive temper, gestured toward security to take the camera away. Nothing happened. The fan kept clicking, the flashes cutting through the darkness like sparks. Rose, visibly furious, shouted at security. Still, they did nothing. Then came the moment that turned a concert into chaos. Axl stopped singing, leapt into the crowd, and tackled the fan himself. Shockwaves rippled across the amphitheater. For a brief, surreal moment, the lead singer of the biggest rock band in the world was brawling with a fan in the middle of the audience. Security rushed in, dragging Rose back to the stage. His shirt was torn, his face red with rage. He grabbed the microphone and declared, "Well, thanks to the lame-ass security, I'm out of here." And with that, he slammed the mic to the ground and stormed off stage. At first, the crowd was stunned into silence. Then the realization set in: the show was over. The band followed Rose backstage, and the house lights came up. The disappointment boiled into anger. Fans had paid good money, traveled from across the region, and waited hours for this moment, only to see it collapse in seconds. The anger ignited into violence. Bottles flew through the air, seats were ripped out and hurled like weapons. Fans stormed the stage, tearing apart equipment, smashing instruments, and looting whatever they could find. The amphitheater became a war zone. Security was overwhelmed, and local police scrambled to respond. For more than an hour, the riot raged, leaving dozens injured. Reports later counted more than 60 people hurt, 16 arrested, and the venue itself left in ruins. For Guns N' Roses, the St. Louis riot became a defining scandal. The band was sued for damages, and Axl Rose was charged with inciting a riot. Though he denied responsibility, his decision to jump into the crowd and abandon the stage was seen as the spark that lit the fire. Rose would avoid trial by agreeing to community service, but his reputation as one of rock's most volatile frontmen was cemented. The riot also deepened the band's mythology. In the years that followed, the words St. Louis became taboo in Guns N' Roses circles. Rose himself famously wore a t-shirt during later shows that read, "Saint. Louis sucks." Fans of the city, still bitter about that night, booed the band's name for years. The Riverport Amphitheater, scarred by the incident, carried the stain of the riot in its history. For the music world, the riot was a reminder of how quickly the line between performance and chaos could be crossed. Rock had always thrived on danger, on pushing limits, on feeding the audience's hunger for rebellion. But in St. Louis, that energy spiraled out of control. What was supposed to be an evening of catharsis turned into violence and destruction, echoing the darker side of rock's legacy. Looking back, the Saint. Louis Riot stands alongside Altamont and other infamous concerts as a cautionary tale. It showed that the raw power of music, when combined with ego, frustration, and a volatile atmosphere, could explode into something far more dangerous than anyone intended. Guns N' Roses would continue their meteoric rise, but that night remained a shadow over their legacy. Proof that rock and roll's most thrilling moments often dance dangerously close to disaster. 30 years later, fans still recall the chaos of that night. For some, it was a badge of honor, proof they had survived one of rock's most infamous riots. For others, it was a betrayal, a night where the band they loved turned on them. Either way, the saint. Louis Riot remains etched into the DNA of Guns N' Roses, a reminder that sometimes the greatest crime in rock is losing control.